Welcome back. We are getting close to the end here. In fact, today, oh my goodness, for the first time in forever, check up there. It does not say plug in your hot glue gun. Well, of course, now if you're still a little bit, working on that, where you're maybe still adding your cloth or you're putting your shape together, you should then plug in your hot glue gun. But if you've got your lantern completely built and you've got the fabric on it, then we're ready to start painting. So let's learn, before we start painting, let's learn some color theory first. Here we go. So color, we've been talking about it since you were, just a wee baby, right? Like, what's your favorite color and all kinds of stuff. So you've been learning about color for probably since you've been learning about anything, but let's just go a little bit more in depth and how it pertains to this project. So, wondering if you've ever heard of this word before, hue. Okay, so hue is just another word for color, so you can use them really quite interchangeably. So if you ever hear me say the word hue, just know that it's another word for color. And if you haven't realized this yet, color, well, it can affect your mood. Okay, so the question is, can it? Yeah, it absolutely can. The colors that you paint your fabric can and will have an impact on your mood when you are by your lantern. So choose wisely. Think about where you want your lantern to go. And what kind of mood are you going for when you're in that space? Are you hoping it's energizing or calming, or what are we thinking? So let's just do a little bit quick color theory analysis on what these colors do to our mood. So red can be quite stimulating and exciting. It can build confidence, make you feel confident, and strength, right? There's lots of muscle behind red, isn't there? So if you're going for those sorts of feels, then red might be a color you want to choose for yours. Pink is love and kindness and sweetness and tenderness. So consider that as one of your colors as well, if that's what you're going for. Orange is warmth and health, enthusiasm, creativity. Yellow is sunlight, optimism, happiness, enlightenment, right? Warm. Okay, so when we put these colors together, red, orange, yellow, and kind of all the shades in between, it can increase your work speed. It can make a room feel smaller. It can be warm and comforting. Too much of it can actually lead to anger and hostility, right? Like we say, like when you get real fired up, kind of turn red. That might be too much. And then fire and sun are associated with our warm colors. So we're going to ask you for this project to pick a color scheme. One of your options is going to be warm colors. Now, just because you're using warm colors doesn't mean you need to use all of them. You can use, kind of pick and choose, and pink could kind of be in there too, because, right, pink is just a tint of red. So, or peaches, right? Any of those kind of warm hues could be included in your lantern if you're choosing warm colors. All right, let's move to the other side of the color wheel. Okay, we've got green here. So green, reminds us of nature, friendliness, safety, right? Green's always for safety. Growth, think of plants growing in the summer, green. Blue is stability, loyalty, confidence, calmness. If you want to relax, blue is going to be a great color for you. Purple is drama, royalty. I feel like this is a color I need to have in mind right now. Ambition, mystery, right? So the purple kind of leads us into those sorts of things. Kind of mystical, isn't it? All right, so then on that other side of our color wheel, we've got the cool colors, right? We had the warm colors, red, orange, yellow, and all the things in between. And then cool, we've got blue, green, and purple. So our cool colors are going to be relaxing. They can make a room feel larger. They're calming. Now, on the negative side of things, right, too much, we it could cause sadness, right? And we even say things like, oh, you're feeling quite blue, which means that you're feeling sad. So, you know, sometimes too much of even a good thing can be too much. And things that remind us of cool colors, water and grass. Okay, so you might choose cool colors for your lantern as well. Now, you probably heard me say on the other side of the color wheel, right? So the next thing that I just want to throw out there, this is a little teaser for what's to come later in our semester together, but something called analogous colors. So this is just another one of those color theory terms, but it's one that I really love. And in fact, warm colors, you can see there. So let's define analogous. So it's colors that are found next to each other on the color wheel, right? So like you can see red, orange, yellow, and you know all those in between. Those are analogous colors. And if we go to the other side, all of our green, blues, purples, those are analogous colors too. Now that being said, there can be overlap. Like let's say if we went from red to kind of like from red to purple to blue, right? Red, purple, blue. Those are still next to each other on the color wheel, but it's merging the warms and the cools. So analogous doesn't have to be just warm or cool. It can actually bridge the gap between warm and cool as well. But I really love analogous colors because they're really easy to blend together. As you can imagine, it's easy to go from red to orange because, well, all orange is red mixed with yellow. So it's already, it's already part of red. It's part of that family. Whereas mixing red with, say, green, which is a cross, that's not going to be easy to do. In fact, it's going to look real muddy and brown, which that's for another day. But I love analogous colors for the fact that they just really blend beautifully from one to the next because they're next to each other on the color wheel. And so just a couple of examples here of analogous colors being used in real life. So here you can see these are, we've got some greens and lime greens and blues and yellows all being used together. Now there are little hints of other colors in there too, but for the main part. So that's an analogous scheme. Here's another one. This is more using some of those warm tones. So what I want you guys to do then is start thinking about what color scheme do you want to go with? Are you thinking that you want to go with warm or cool? Regardless of which one you're choosing, which of the colors within that color scheme are you going to use? You could use, just the basic red, orange, yellow. Keep it real basic and simple, primary, secondary colors. Or you can kind of expand to like the pinks and the peaches and the canary yellow, and you can expand it a little bit too, okay? As far as painting goes, we're not necessarily painting a thing on there. It's not like you're gonna paint like, oh, here's a tree on my lantern. It's gonna be just kind of more of this flowy, organic, almost tie-dye looking is what I'm envisioning for your lanterns. Now that being said, we all know you're the artist for your project. So if you have a different idea about how you want yours to look, you can always feel free to run it by us and let us know what you're thinking for approval. Okay? Of course, make sure that you allow your fabric dry time before next class. Like, don't start this right before next class because we'll be moving forward and I've got another little fun trick up my sleeves for you guys to do. But do also know that you don't have to have your painting finished for next class either. We will have some time next time. All right? Okay, so let's just really quickly, I'm sure we've all painted before, but let's just quickly take a look into our beautiful paints here, and I'll give you a quick demo on what we're thinking here. So I think I'm going to do, I'm having a hard time deciding here. I think I'm going to do some warm colors because I'm liking these jewel tones. Okay, so I want to get my watercolor cake dampened from the water. You can see I've got my water dish right up there. And once again, I'm just going to kind of do kind of flowy, organic shapes here. Sticking to my warm colors. Not necessarily doing anything, like trying to make it look like anything in particular. I just really want it to have some beautiful flow to it. Okay, so just painting it kind of like this. I also did want to touch on, you're probably noticing that the bottom half of my lantern does not have fabric on it. I did that because I wanted to show you guys, I know I talked about this, you know, for a few days, the fact that if you are running out of fabric, now mine is not giganto, it's actually relatively small, but I still wanted to show you how you can creatively put fabric over parts of your lantern and you know, have it be intentional and have it look really cool. So I just wanted to kind of show you what that looks like. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, I'm going to continue to paint this. Take your time, no need to rush. I'm gonna let this dry a little bit, and then I might come back in and do another layer or two, and of course I'm gonna hit up all of these different sections as well. So I'll show you more about what that turns out looking like next time. We'll see you then.